Hey, welcome back to Life Sculptors. I'm your host, Dante Poole, and I am just always so excited to connect with you. Today, we have a great conversation. It's about a bear who's lost his hat. And on the surface, it just looks like a simple story, right? But underneath, it really points to what happens when parts of us goes missing. Yes, like it's and it reveals how we respond and how we show up sometimes, where we just feel lost. Yeah. So I'll read the story, and then we'll get into the conversation. It is "I Want My Hat Back" by Jon Klassen. I want my hat back by Jon Klassen. My hat is gone. I want it back. So the bear asked the fox, "Have you seen my hat?" "No, I haven't seen your hat." "Okay, thank you anyway." Then he asked the frog, "Have you seen my hat?" "No, I have not seen any hats around here." "Okay, well, thank you anyway." And he asked the rabbit. Y'all, the rabbit is wearing a red hat. "Have you seen my hat?" "No, why are you asking me? I haven't seen it. I haven't seen any hats anywhere. I would not steal a hat. Don't ask me any more questions." "Okay, thank you." Then he asked the turtle, "Have you seen my hat?" "I haven't seen anything at all day. I've been trying to climb this rock. Would you like me to lift you up on top of it?" "Yes, please." The bear then asked the snake, "Have you seen my hat?" "I saw a hat once. It was blue and round." "My hat doesn't look like that, but thank you anyway." And then he asked a possum, "Have you seen my hat?" "What is a hat?" "Oh, thank you anyhow." Right? Nobody has seen my hat. What if I never see it again? What if nobody ever finds it? My poor hat. I miss it so much. The deer walks up to the bear. "What's the matter?" "I've lost my hat and nobody has seen it." "What does your hat look like?" "It's red and pointy and..." "I've seen my hat," said the bear. He takes off running and he walks up to the rabbit and he says, You stole my hat." The rabbit just looks at bear. Bear just looks at rabbit. Y'all, bear eats the rabbit. He's sitting with his hat on his head now. I love my hat. Huh. The squirrel walks up to him. "Excuse me, have you seen Rabbit wearing a hat?" "No, why are you asking me? I haven't seen him. I haven't seen any rabbits anywhere. I would not eat a rabbit. I mean, don't ask me any more questions." The squirrel says, "Oh, okay, thank you anyway." The end. Oh my goodness, y'all. Ah, I want my hat back. Have you ever had a moment, right, where you realize something is missing? And you can't quite tell when it disappeared. It's not a hat exactly, but maybe it's your confidence or your creativity. Maybe it's like a dream you had or your willingness to take risk or oh man. And maybe it's a version of you that used to show up a certain way, but now you don't because I don't know, you just decided to give up a part of you to keep peace maybe with somebody else. Hmm. Like there's this quiet ache that comes with that kind of loss. It's like you feel it But you feel it, but you just can't quite name it. Like there's just something it's missing. That's what happens in the story. I want my hat back. Right. The bear is wandering the forest, asking all the different creatures, "Have you seen my hat?" Now, everyone he meets just says, "Hey, I don't know. I see nothing." And they deny it. And honestly, that's us sometimes, right? We start looking for ourselves in other people, and those people can't or won't have the capacity to help us find what's missing. Have you ever lost yourself in a relationship? Hmm. See, we start adjusting who we are to meet other people's comfort level, and we do that until our own voice just gets quiet. We think we're being kind or flexible or compromising, but really, we're just disappearing a little bit at a time. Hmm. See, the bear, right? He doesn't see the truth even when it's right in front of him. I mean, the rabbit is literally wearing his hat, but he doesn't see it. But that's how unhealthy attachment works, y'all. And when our unhealthy or when our emotions get big and over involved, our eyes don't always see clearly. I mean, others are around us saying, "Don't you see that?" And you're like, "What?" Sometimes it feels like other people are hiding things from us. But the reality is, there are times when we're hiding the truth from ourselves. Oh man. And so it's important, right? Because you gotta rediscover the self you misplaced. Like then comes that moment, right? Where you realize, I've seen my hat. Right? That moment, that instant when awareness hits and you realize what's been missing. Like, oh my gosh, all this time, this is what I've been missing. For the bear, it was his hat. For us, though, it might be our peace, or our passion, or our purpose. It's the things we set down to make someone else feel comfortable. But once you see it, you can't unsee it. Like once you realize what's been missing, you can't any longer pretend like it's no longer missing. I wonder, what have you given up for the sake of gaining something else, only to realize that what you've lost was more valuable than what you gained? How do we undervalue parts of us? It can feel like somebody stole it, right? But often we're the ones that put it down, trading authenticity for acceptance or peace, to just have a piece of someone else. Hmm. I wonder if this week you could name one hat you've lost, like something essential to your sense of self, something that you've put down. Maybe it's a boundary or a dream or just a little bit of your confidence. And ask yourself this question, like, who or what might have your hat? And what would it look like to get it back, to calmly and courageously reclaim what's yours without apology? Hmm. But the story doesn't stop there, right? Because sometimes we're not the bear. Sometimes we're the rabbit. We're the one who's holding something that isn't ours. We're dodging the truth. We're just trying to protect ourselves from blame. Can we talk about that? When something goes wrong, like our first instinct is to protect. It's rarely accountability. It's typically to protect. It's protection, and we build a story around it that keeps us safe. Like we find a way to justify or rationalize or excuse our behavior because it protects us. We say it's not my fault. Like I only did it because of what they did. Oh, y'all. We can overtalk the truth. We can explain it away. We can justify, just like Rabbit who says, hey, I haven't seen your hat. Don't ask me any more questions. Leave me alone. Oh, man, he gets the fast talking and he is dodging. He is in denial. The more he talks, though, the guiltier he sounds. And we laugh because we recognize this tone, this pace. We recognize this in ourselves. Blame feels so much easier than honesty. It's our emotional armor almost. We reach for it when we realize that deep down inside, we might get exposed. Oh, yes. See, when we feel like we're going to experience shame or embarrassment or we're going to lose our dignity or something, we start blaming instead of being accountable. If I admit my fault, will they still accept me? Will I still be respected? Will I still be loved? See, we protect before we even process what's going on. Oh, man. See, our brains treat being wrong like danger. And so we defend ourselves, even from the truth. Oh. And somewhere along the line, we conclude or confuse even shame with conviction. We thought admitting the fault meant feeling small. Y'all. So instead of saying, I messed up, we say, no, you just don't understand. Oh, but accountability, y'all, isn't humiliation. I'm going to say that again. Accountability for my behavior is not humiliation. Shame says I'm bad, but accountability says I did something that needs to be made right. That's all. I did something that needs to be made right. Okay. And when we mix those up, we always choose protection first. Because nobody wants to feel condemned. And if we're honest, we'd rather have control than correction. See, blame keeps the story in our hands. We get to spin the story, right? But if we can manage the narrative, then we don't have to change. If we can keep telling the story and convincing ourselves that this is the story, then we don't have to change. But growth never happens inside a safe script, inside the story you keep telling yourself. It happens when we are brave enough to rewrite the story, to get feedback from others so we can rewrite the story. Protection may preserve your image, but accountability restores your integrity. Oh, man. I mean, think about that for a moment. Think about a recent moment when you got defensive instead of accountable. What were you trying to protect? Like were you trying to protect your heart, your image, your comfort, your control? Because we will try to protect our control. And what might have changed if you chose accountability instead? I heard this quote this week, and I think I read it on one of the social media platforms. Somebody posted it, and I was like, "That is good stuff right there." It was so good. I even shared it in our family chat. I was like, "Y'all, this is good stuff." Here's how it goes. Here it says, "Integrity is more than doing the right thing when no one is looking. It's also doing the right thing when the consequences are real and cost you something. Listen, I have taught that integrity is doing the right thing when no one is looking. But this other piece adds a whole nother layer to it, that it's also doing the right thing when the consequences are real and cost us something. Ooh, man. And so this is the kind of integrity the story is challenging us to live. It's the kind that's costly, but it's so freeing. And that brings us to the bear's moment of realization. Like when he remembers he saw his hat. It's like, wait, I have seen my hat. He was talking to the rabbit who was wearing the hat and didn't see it, but now he sees it. And when that happens, the whole energy of the story shifts. The wandering ends, the asking the questions ends. But the question for us is this. Once we know the truth, what do we do with it? Do we keep making excuses so we can stay where we are? Do we keep rationalizing or justifying? Do we keep telling ourselves the story that isn't true? Because our response matters. Oh, it matters. And that's where the story takes an unexpected turn, right? Once the bear remembers, I've seen my hat, right? Everything changes. He charges off to confront the rabbit. He is going to get his hat. But there's where it gets complicated. Because we assume we know what happens next. We assume that the rabbit is guilty, that he stole the hat. I mean, he does say that I didn't steal anything in his conversation, but the bear's anger, right? It's justified, right? Because somebody has something that belongs to him. But the truth, we don't actually know. Like the story never tells us how the rabbit got the hat. Oh, man, y'all, there are assumptions and there are consequences to our assumptions. Maybe the rabbit found the hat. Like maybe he thought the bear was done with it. Like the bear put it down somewhere and he picked it up and said, oh, he's good with it. Okay. Maybe he sounded nervous, not because he was guilty, but because he was anxious. And maybe he was afraid that the bear might blame him for something he didn't do. Oh, we get like that. Like when we get confronted with something and we don't know how to navigate it, we could just start talking real fast and saying some stuff that may not be true, but we are trying to just get out from underneath this uncomfortable situation. What if, y'all? What if another animal gave the rabbit the hat? Oh, man, like how often do we take the blame for something somebody else did? The point is, the rabbit ends up suffering the consequences of the bear's assumptions. And y'all, this hits close to home, doesn't it? Because when we've been hurt or wronged, we often jump straight to a conclusion instead of being curious. We make assumptions to protect our pride or to protect our pain even. But sometimes in our rush for justice, we end up harming someone who never meant to hurt us. When the bear acts, we feel a mix of satisfaction and unease, like he eats the rabbit. It's like this is what he gets for stealing the bear's hat. Yeah, and the bear gets his hat back, but the tone shifts. Like there is relief, but there's also something unresolved. It forces us to ask what kind of justice we want. Do we want restoration or do we just want revenge? See, it's easy to call it justice when really we're just trying to make someone else feel the weight we've been carrying. But true accountability, whether we're the bear or the rabbit, leads towards restoration and not punishment. See, when awareness hits us, the response matters. Accountability without action really is just acknowledgement, right? So we got to do something, but restoration happens when the truth leads to repair and not revenge. Something that means or sometimes, should I say, it just means apologizing. Or sometimes it just means forgiving. And sometimes it means just walking away with new wisdom. Who do you need to make things right with? Like what truth have you remembered now, but you have not yet acted on? What would it look like for you to restore, not just recover what's been lost, but to restore the relationship? In life, we're all the bear at some point, searching for what's missing. And in all reality, we are also the rabbit too, trying to hide what we've done for fear of someone else's judgment. But accountability doesn't erase those moments. It redeems them. When we stop protecting the story and start living the truth, we don't just get our hat back. We get ourselves back. Get yourself back. I want you to identify one hat you need to reclaim, like one thing you've lost that you need to reclaim, like something that you may have lost sight of because of fear or compromise or avoidance, like something. And I want you to ask yourself, what truth do I need to tell to get it back? And then I want you to take one restorative step this week, quietly, honestly, courageously. If this episode spoke to you, take a moment to reflect on what thing you might need to reclaim this week. Remember, accountability is not punishment. It's a pathway to peace and freedom. Hey, be sure to like, subscribe, share this episode with somebody who you know needs to hear this today. And as always, you're exactly enough. Till next time.